Japan is an island country in East Asia. It is arranged in the northwest Pacific Ocean and is verged on the west by the Sea of Japan, while reaching out from the Sea of Okhotsk in the north toward the East China Sea, Philippine Sea, and Taiwan in the south. Japan is a piece of the Ring of Fire and ranges an archipelago of 6852 islands covering 377,975 square kilometers, 145,937 sq mi. The five fundamental islands are Hokkaido, Honshu, the Central Area, Shikoku, Kyushu, and Okinawa. Tokyo is the country's capital and biggest city, trailed by Yokohama, Osaka, Nagoya, Sapporo, Fukuoka, Kobe, and Kyoto. Japan is the 11th most crowded country on the planet, as well as one of the most thickly populated and urbanized. Around 3/4 of the country's landscape is precipitous, concentrating its populace of 125.5 million on thin beachfront fields. Japan is partitioned into 47 authoritative prefectures and 8 customary districts. The Greater Tokyo area is the most crowded metropolitan region on the planet, with more than 37.4 million occupants. Japan has been possessed since the Upper Paleolithic time frame. However, the principal compass notice of the archipelago shows up in a Chinese narrative, the Book of Han, completed in the 2nd century AD. Between the 4th and 9th hundreds of years, the realms of Japan became brought together under a sovereign and the magnificent court situated in Heian-Kim. Starting in the 1200 years, political power was held by a progression of military despots and primitive masters, and upheld by a class of fighter honorability. Following a very long-term time of nationwide conflict, the nation was reunified in 1603 under the Tokugawa shogunate, which ordered a neutralist international strategy. In 1854, a United States armada constrained Japan to open exchange toward the west, which prompted the finish of the shogunate and the reclamation of supreme power in 1868. In the Meiji time frame, the Empire of Japan embraced a Western demonstrated constitution and sought after a program of industrialization and modernization. In the midst of an ascent in militarism and a broad colonization, Japan attacked China in 1937 and entered World War II as an Axis power in 1941. In the wake of enduring loss in the Pacific War and 2 nuclear bombings, Japan gave up in 1945 and went under a 7-year Allied occupation, during which it took on another constitution and started a tactical collusion with the United States. Under the 1947 Constitution, Japan has kept a unitary parliamentary sacred government with a bicameral council, the National Diet. Japan is an extraordinary power and an individual from various global associations, including the United Nations, starting around 1956, OECD, G20 and Group of 7. Despite the fact that it has repudiated it's on the right track to pronounce war, the nation keeps up with self-defense forces. That position is one of the world's most grounded militaries. After World War II, Japan experienced record development in a monetary supernatural occurrence, turning into the 2nd biggest economy on the planet by 1972, yet has deteriorated starting around 1995, in what is alluded to as the lost decades. Starting around 2021, the country's economy is the 3rd biggest by ostensible GDP and the 4th biggest by PPP. Japan has the world's most elevated future, however it is encountering a decrease in populace. A worldwide forerunner in the car, mechanical technology and gadgets businesses, Japan has made critical commitments to science and innovation. The way of life of Japan is notable all over the planet, including its craft, cooking, music, and mainstream society, which envelops unmistakable comic, movement and computer game industry.